It's 1 week later, and I'm still not unpacked from going to the Midwest Gaming Classic. And that's really not true, because this is take 2 on this video, because I forgot to turn my freaking mic on. So when I went to edit it, I had great video with no voiceover, not saying a dang thing. So just want to go over what I got at the Midwest Gaming Classic. First thing I picked up on day 1 is I did a little shilling here. So love me some Spooky Pinball, and Beetlejuice was a hot game, and they were selling Hawaiian shirts. And so I picked myself up a nice Spooky Pinball Hawaiian shirt. I kind of crumble this up and throw it to the floor. And story behind that is every vacation I go on, I got this red and white floral pattern Hawaiian shirt. And every time I go on vacation, I am seeing at least one of the pictures wearing that shirt. And it's kind of it's a sore thumb with the family, because they're like, there it is. There's that shirt again. Why do you wear that on every family vacation? So, you know, they talked about throwing that shirt away or hiding the shirt from me. And I just keep on buying more Hawaiian shirts, you know. So, you know, hey, take that, you know. So I got another one on top of that. And I picked up, it was their 13th anniversary shirt that Spooky did. I picked up another nice Spooky Pinball 13th anniversary shirt that I can wear this year. That was pretty dang cool. And since I'm kind of shilling for Spooky today, I got the Spooky Shill shirt, and I'm going to wear that one. Not that I don't have 100 black tees around, but I got tons of black tees, and that's just how it goes. I also picked up from Old School Gamer a couple pairs of Pac-Man socks. Where are you going to go wrong with Pac-Man socks? I got my Mario socks. I got Pac-Man socks. Getting some more video game socks in the collection there. Not that anybody is ever going to see them, but there they are. This year's design for the Midwest Gaming Classic shirt was right here. And I've never loaded the app to see what it looks like in the app. It's supposed to animate and come to life. If you download the app, and it'll probably tell you online what app to do it with, but that is that. I did get a sweatshirt, which is not here. Even though I pre-ordered it, my sweatshirt was given away by accident, and they're really cool. So they said, just make sure you got the information down. We're going to send it to you. You got it, man. So I got another sweatshirt coming, and I know my wife will really enjoy me having another sweatshirt in my limited sweatshirt collection. And there's heavy sarcasm right there. And then also I picked up their 25th anniversary Midwest Gaming Classic shirt. And this design was really freaking cool. I would have loved to have this in a sweatshirt, but I didn't see one to pick one up. So I do not have one. And the last clothing that I picked up was another sweatshirt. And this is the Garcade. The Garcade does the free play arcade up on the 3rd floor. And it's usually the first thing I see when I come off the skywalk from the Hilton City Center is the Garcade. And it is, you know, something that I want to support. I love these guys. They do a freaking awesome job every year. And if I can pick up some merch from these guys and kind of say thank you for setting all that stuff up for the Midwest Gaming Classic, this is what I do. I picked up a blue one last year. I got a black one this year. Maybe next year. Just saying. It'd be nice to get a different color. Maybe I get a red one next year. That would be flipping awesome. So, my game pickups were nothing extraordinary in any way. They're just normal games. There's no freaking heaters. There's no holy grails in the bunch. It was just games that I wanted to play. So I didn't film when I went shopping most of the times. I think the 3rd day, when I was pretty much almost done with my vending floor shopping, I went and got some footage. So if you watched this video previous to this one, if you haven't, go back and watch it. If you watched that one, that was all shot mostly on the 3rd day. That way, Thursday I got there a day early. I was playing games with friends all Thursday night. Thursday morning into afternoon, I played games with them. We finished, we played Contra Galuga, but we finished Marvel Invasion on the Switch 2. And we just had a blast playing couch co-op. So when you go to these conventions, man, it's just not about the awesome pickups that you get. It's about enjoying time with other gamers and having a great time. So, you know, I made sure preview night, Saturday, you know, evening, you know, it was all about playing games with friends and having a great time. I did some shopping in the morning, got some stuff done there on the vending floor. They were all out there on the vending floor doing the same thing. We're texting each other what we see on the vending floor if they're looking for something, back and forth. And it was just about being with your friends and having a good time. So that was flipping awesome. So the last day was when I got the footage of the previous video. So my vending floor was more nostalgic this year than anything. I didn't pick up any really modern games. They were all retro games, and some of them wasn't even, you know, it was just upgrades. It wasn't new games to my library. Some of them were just upgrade conditions, and, you know, that's kind of what I like to do. And every year in your VIG bag, they give you a free game, but they also give you little knickknacks. And this year I got, if I can get it focused in, I got a Midwest Gaming 25th anniversary pin. I wear a lot of Boston Scully hats most of the time, so this is going to be a really cool addition to one of my hats. So thank you for that pin. Also got the collector coin. You had to purchase this, and on one side you had the 25th anniversary and the years that's been going, and the other side you had this year's convention stuff, and it was flipping awesome. So, and it's a pretty heavy coin. So I got that collection, you know, collectible right there. I also got a lot of collectibles from vendors, you know, just stickers you pick up, and other YouTubers, you know. There's Cap sticker. That's a freaking nice sticker, man. I don't know where he got those from, but that will have to go in my locker at work. I got one from John Hancock, and then you pick up Midwest Gaming stuff, stickers, Castlemania, a lot of the vendors that are there. You can pick up magnets. I just dropped on the floor. Songbirds are every year. They had a new sticker this year. Pixel FX. And that was it for my stickers that I got this year. And I love getting stickers from people. And I gave stickers out as well. I put mine. So my new sticker this year was this one right here. And it was just kind of an homage, and I wanted to say, you know, buy physical games, support your local game store owners, and I put my logo right on a NES cartridge, and that's what I handed out this year. And a lot of people came up and asked for them. You know, they thought the cartridge was pretty cool, so my idea actually paid off because people like the stickers, and I've seen them stuck at other places, so it's kind of cool. That my stickers are getting around now. So I still got 3 conventions. If you see me out there at Mo Game Con, you see me out there at Merge, the Michigan Retro Gaming Expo, and Retrofest, come up and yell at me and I'll get you some channel stickers. I appreciate you guys watching and liking the videos. It's pretty cool. My big purchase for the con for MGC was actually everything in these little white envelopes. And last year I picked up a Vectrex, and I was really excited about getting one back in my collection. I love playing those old school games. I love vector graphics, and that was a pretty big buy. So to spend a little bit more money on these would have been a pain in the butt last year, but it was one regret that I had that I didn't pick them up. I really wanted these overlays, and this year when the floor opened up, this was the first thing that I went in to get was my overlays. And these go right on the Vectrex screen and add a little color to your black and white Vectrex, and it was the way you played the games. I'll probably do a short on this and show some different gameplay, you know, in the near future, because I haven't got to play with these yet on the screen, and I really want to play with some of these overlays on the screens for the Vectrex, and wasn't cheap. It was $250 for 58 of the overlays, but I could have bought these online. I could have had them shipped to the house. But that's one thing about the convention. It's like a treasure hunt. It's like finding the things you really like. So instead of looking for big ticket items or things that were on my wish list, like I've had one thing on my wish list for 3 years, and this year I got it, you know, and I got it on the last day when I really wasn't looking for it. So this was a joy because I really wanted these, and you're not going to go out to a store and buy them, and it's not really fun just ordering them online and getting them delivered to your house. It's fun finding these things in the wild, and I knew where they were at, and that was the first thing I picked up at MGC this year. I ran right to, I think it's Sean Kelly, the guy that does the booth and does the Vectrex stuff. Went right to his stuff and picked these up, and thank you, man. This was my most cherished thing that I grabbed this year. I just really appreciated that. And also, when you came in the door, they actually gave you your choice of game, and this is what I picked up. They were handing out games, and not just video games and pinball and card games, but board games and tabletop games is a big part of this convention. You know, I don't spend a whole lot of time down there. I spend a lot of my time playing pinball and video games, but you know, for those people that love board games, this convention, you know, is tailor-made how you want it to be. So there's a lot of people in there playing games, and it's a great space to play games. It just feels really homey down there in a convention center, and you can meet people and play games. I had a young man that came with me. It was a relative, and it was the first time he's been to the convention. He never had any friends come with him this year, but he hooked up with some other people and played Magic, and that's just the magic of the con, man. You can have fun, and you can meet tons of new people that have a common interest with you. That's the board game they gave us. Signage. I like to buy signs at these cons, and I am starting to buy pinball machines. I got my first one this last month, and I picked up a street sign that says Stern on it. I don't have a Stern. I have a game plan. It's a game plan Lizard. That's what I own right now, and I got another one I'm going to get within a month here, and then I need to start saving for like King Kong or Godzilla or something. But I want to have a little area out here in the entertainment area where we watch movies, and that back wall, I just want maybe 3 to 4 pinball machines out there. So I'm getting some signage to decorate that up. And another sign that I picked up, and this was from Tilt Pinball, but it's from Stern Pinball, and it's a stop tilting sign. And that's something that I will never be able to do, because nudging and tilting is just part of the game. Now, also a guy that does 3D printing there, and I'd say 3 years running I've bought stuff off of him, if not 4, it might be even 4. And every year I always try to walk away with something, and I wanted some signage for stuff that I don't have represented in the game room. So I picked up this 3D printed sign from him, and it's for the Dreamcast, and I really like this. So I'll have to find a home for this in the game room. He does a great job with his multiple colored printing, and I picked up another little sign that was a TurboGrafx. It's another console that I'm really learning to love here. And then I picked up, I'm gonna have to scoot back for this one. I picked up a sign, and back in the day, I was a Sega guy. When they had the, Sega Nintendo war going on, the console wars, I was in the Sega camp all the way. So I really wasn't a fan of Nintendo. And as I grew older and I started collecting more of these older games and getting back into retro gaming, I started collecting for them all. And when the Switch came out, I really fell in love with Nintendo again. So I picked myself up one big Nintendo sign, and this thing is going to look gorgeous in the game room. I've got a lighted one that I got from Retrobeard at Retrofest last year, and that thing looks awesome. I need to pick up some more of them, but just something to hang on the wall. That's gonna decorate the room up really nice, and I really like that one. On the big side, I'm really gonna have to back up. I got this to go along with a couple of other banners that I own, and this is from Brian. Oh my gosh, Brian Allen, that's his name. And I love the Bride of Pinbot machine. I have this in VR, and I also have played it at our local arcade. Pinbot's a great one, so I picked up this banner of his artwork of the Bride of Pinbot, and that was a pickup that I got. So I was really happy with what he had for banners, and I wish I had more wall space to put a bunch more up. This will make number 3 banners that I have, and I could always switch them out, I guess, and get some more, but it's just more work and busy work that I just want to come down and play. I don't want to have to switch out banners all the time, but look up this guy's artwork, and I'm going to flip into here right now to show you something else that I bought from Brian Allen, and this thing is freaking awesome. And I didn't want to bring this into the studio here, but this translight for the back glass is on a lighted frame, and that frame actually expands out so you can interchange other translights in there, and they'll be well lit, and they go through like a different strobing sign, or you can just have it, you know, just be lit one color or lit, you know, just naturally. And this thing was just sharp, man. I could not walk by without getting one, and I should have probably got some more translights, but I was just thinking, man, I want something good. I want something classic, and what more classic can you get than Monster Bash? And if you're interested in this design, you can get this stuff at flylanddesigns.com. That's flylanddesigns.com, and Brian Allen is the artist. And I love that thing. That thing was a great thing to purchase. So now let's go on to the games that I bought. I didn't buy a whole lot of games, and they're not really stellar games in any way that you're going to be like, ooh, but I just want to show you the stuff that I bought, you know, at the convention. And I never had this game growing up, and it's going to be Atari 2600 games. And this is kind of after the time I played this game in the Recharge. I played it in the arcade, but I picked up the Maroon Label 2600 Gravatar. That was a pickup that I got because I didn't have that in the collection. I picked up Millipede. I never purchased Millipede as a kid. I got Centipede, but I thought that would be a good game to have. And the Parker Brother ones that I have never picked up was Tutankhamun. So I picked that one up at the con. And this one right here, Return of the Jedi Battle of Death Star, I picked up. And those were some Parker Brothers games that I picked up. I got a couple more here, and these were just condition upgrades because my Spider-Mans really looked like crap, and this one looked a little bit better. So hopefully when I test these games to play them here, hopefully they'll work. And this was a condition upgrade on the Empire Strikes Back. My Empire Strikes Back looked terrible, so need to get a condition upgrade on them. I went to a table. I love to play pinball. So I went to a table that had this for the PlayStation. It's Pro Pinball Fantastic Journey. And I've had a couple out of the series on this. And I just like to have, you know, the progression of pinball from the 2600 all the way up to modern to the Zen stuff right now. It's something cool that I like. So anyhow, I picked that game up, and it was 3 for $15. So the only thing I found that I really wanted that I didn't have in the collection was Pac-Man World I picked up. And then I also picked up Frogger. And I thought I had this, but I checked in my database, and I did not have it. So those are the 3 games I picked up for $15. Not a whole lot of money for those, but it was fun to get those. Another Atari system that I bought last year was the Lynx, and I love me some Robotron, so I picked up for the Lynx Robotron 2084. Yeah, I can play this in emulation on my PlayStation Go, the Game Station Go, and it would be a big, beautiful screen. It'll look great, but it's just something about playing on original hardware and using the original cartridge to play it. So I was really tickled to get this thing. I didn't care what it cost. I really wanted to get this up, and I picked this up from Songbird Productions. They had a table, and they had a lot of Lynx games there, and it's a scary thing about going to these cons. When you buy new systems, you want more games for them, and it's kind of an addiction that you get. Another 2600 game I'll go first with is I never had a copy of Kaboom, and on the Game Station Go, it just doesn't translate well with a little paddle up top. I want a real paddle to have that feeling, so I can get my Atari 2600 Plus out, or the Pac-Man Edition, or the 7800 Plus, whatever one I want to get out, hook up my paddles for them, the original paddles, and actually play Kaboom. So I picked up a complete in-box copy, and that was really cheap. So you can see a lot of these games aren't stellar games, and they're not freaking holy grails, but they're just games that I liked, and they got memories for me, and which is cool. So I also picked up Hold the Light, and that came free with my VIG package, and it's an NES game. And to be honest with you, I haven't put in one game to play that I've got out of a VIG package. They've just gone up on the shelf, and it's just kind of a collectible thing from the Midwest Gaming Classes. So you can see it's got the logo that's the 25th anniversary right on it. So I was there. I should be playing some of these games, and maybe I'll need to slap them into play. And I stopped by John Hancock's table, and he had this on the 5200, and I love collecting for the 5200. I know this is not a North American, release copy of what the system had back in the days, but it's fun to get these indie games and see what developers of today program for the consoles of yesterday. And to have another 5200 cartridge just makes me happy. And it's been sad lately because I can't find, the cartridges. In the years past, it's been all the regular stuff that you see, and I can't find 5200 cartridges. So to get a 5200 cartridge that I didn't have in the collection made me really happy. And there was 2 vendors that I went. One was towards the end, and the 5200 cartridges are big and they're distinctive, and you can really tell them from afar that that's what they are. They have no spine labels on them at all, so all you see is a sea of black big cartridges, and you're like, oh, they got some, and your heart tells you, no, it's going to be the same freaking common ones that we see all the time. It's not going to be the ones we need. Well, this year I went home with 4 out of the library, not including John's Sock'em, the Block'em Sock'em. I picked up a copy of Congo Bongo, and that's a Sega game. I also never had this one, and I found this, so I've added a Miss Pac-Man to my 5200 collection. And I also picked up Jungle Hunt. And these are all commons, but there's things that I haven't seen at conventions over the years since I picked up my own 5200. I've seen Missile Commands, Pac-Mans, Defenders, all the regular stuff, but I haven't seen anything that hasn't been in my collection. And at the same vendor that had the Vectrex stuff, I came back to later, and on the side he had a bunch of box games. And I went over there and I found Gremlins for the 5200 in box. So I picked this up, and it was a little more spendy than what price charting was, but I never see these flipping games ever. So I had no problem spending the extra cash for the box and for the cartridge to get something that I hardly ever see. And the rule of thumb is, once you pick up a game that you never see, now you're going to see it all the flipping time. So I got 3 more conventions this year: Mo Game Con, Merge, Michigan Retro Gaming Expo in Kalamazoo, and then I also have Retro Fest 3 in Conway, Arkansas, towards the end of the year. And I'll probably see this game every stinking convention. I wouldn't be shocked if I did. But nonetheless, I'm still happy I got this. And on the other side of that flipping booth was a guy that I saw John Hancock actually talk about. And I saw his video after the fact last year. It was his MGC wrap up, and he said he picked up 5,200 repair kits. So I walked to the other side of that booth, and I could see these from afar in a baggie. And I just was like so excited that I picked up 2 of them. I should pick up 4 of them because I got a 4-player one, but I got a couple good working, controllers there. It has everything but the boot for the joystick, but it's got all the innards, the parts, the membranes in there. You got the ribbon cables. I was so flippin' excited to see these. Out of everything I got at this convention, this was right up there with the Vectrix, purchase. The Vectrix one I knew I was going to get. I didn't know this guy was going to be back again. This was flipping awesome. I got his card right here, and you can go online and you can buy these parts at AtariParts.com or AtariRepairParts.com. So he makes custom-made parts for many Atari game consoles and computers. So it's just not going to be Atari stuff. So visit this guy's, website. Give him some business if you guys need it. And there's another little place I go to. I go every year. It's called Holly Hooks, and I buy plants for my daughter, so they're not going to die. Just something that she can use for little decorations in her room or whatnot. We'll be empty nesters here pretty soon, so she'll be moving on, taking her plants with her. So I bought some stuff from Holly Hooks for her, and then I also picked up a little something for my game room. I picked up a Mario, and she actually makes these. She knits these things with stuffing in them, and there's no design for this. She comes up with this stuff on her own. It's flipping awesome. So next time you go to the Midwest Gaming Classic, look up Holly Hooks and tell her 60-Minute Gamer recommended her. I like her stuff over there, so make sure you visit Holly at Holly Hooks at the Midwest Gaming Classic. And my last thing I'm going to talk about, I've been looking for this game for 3 flipping years. It's not an expensive game. It's not a holy grail. I like light gun games. I love light gun games. In fact, they had an auction. If I would have brought my truck instead of the car, I would have went home with a House of Dead 2. They had a House of Dead 2 full-size video game cabinet. Went for $350. All working. It was there to play all weekend. The thing worked. So there was an auction. That sucker went for $350. My wife's probably glad I didn't take the truck, but I really wanted that bad boy. Wasn't the only one, but it actually went really cheap. So I've been looking for this light gun game called Target Terror. I've been looking for this for 3 years, not just at conventions, but at every store. I know I like to find my games at conventions, but every video game store I've gone to look for, I've gone to Target. I've been looking for Target Terror. I haven't seen it really on eBay, and I haven't seen it, anywhere else like Mercari or anything like that. So I've been looking for this game forever, and I picked it up, and it was a rental copy. It's been in the store sometime. I better check. I never even checked to see how bad the copy is in the back. It is clean as a whistle. They either cleaned it or nobody rented it. And it's after a video game that was out, and I loved light gun games. So that was my one pickup that I've been looking for 3 years for. And I like to find this stuff in the wild. And the next thing I'm looking for is really silly. I'm looking for a jungle green controller. That's been on my list for several years now, and I can't find a decent one that, you know, I'd be happy to add to my collection. So I got 3 more conventions this year to look for that, and I hope I find it like I got lucky this year on this one. So that was my pickups for the Midwest Gaming Classic in 2026. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was nothing like insane to look at, but I just wanted to share what I picked up at the Midwest Gaming Classic. Hope you guys are enjoying gaming yourself. I hope you're taking time off to game with friends. So I got 3 more conventions I'm going to this year. So if you want some channel stickers, you know, just come up, holler at me. And I'm usually carrying a bunch in my backpack, and I usually carry a bunch in my pocket, my convention shirt. Come up, say hi. I appreciate you guys watching. Just remember, be kind to one another out there. Enjoy life, and game on.